I'm Radley, and this is Owen.
Hello, and welcome to my documentary about Halo machinimas. We will be exploring how machinimas are made, why machinimas rose to popularity, and where the medium is today.
We will also be discussing outside influences such as YouTube as a hub for machinima creation to share their content.
So, you might be asking yourself, what is a machinima? Well, let's ask one of the most popular Halo machinima creators who directed Arby and the Chief, John CJG.
My definition of machinima is cinema in which the visual elements are generated by machines, opposed to a live action production, hence the contraction of the words machine and cinema. Colloquially, I know the term to more specifically refer to fan-generated visual content through the use of video games, such as Halo. Although it began much earlier through the use of Quake, and earlier than that during the computer demo scene in the 80s when the computers were first being unveiled to consumers.
That's a great explanation of machinima as a tool for animation, but how is machinima made?
The addition of theatre mode in Halo 3 made filming machinimas easier as more techniques could be employed.
Radley will now look at Halo 1 and the many challenges the machinima filmmakers had to overcome.
Well, there was no free cam on the original Xbox release. This meant that the heads-up display was constantly on screen. A trick that the Rooster Teeth team used for filming red versus blue was to change the aspect ratio to hide the HUD elements like this. Here's a quote from Matt Hullum, one of the creators of Red vs Blue, on an interview with 1UP.
Halo and trying to figure out different things to do with it. One day while Bernie was making a video, he just put black bars, like what they called letterboxing in movies, you know, on the top and the bottom, and he thought, wow, this kind of looks like CG movie if you took out the HUD. Then he started tinkering around and making videos, and Red vs Blue just grew out of that. It was an interesting and lucky chain of events. A lot of innovation and luck as well.
A glitch that Rooster Teeth used in their machinima was gun lowering. This could be done with any of the pistols, and all you have to do is look down. This was a glitch, and together with head bobbing, made it look as though characters were able to talk to one another, without players pointing guns at each other. Many machinimas are similar to fan fiction, as they are using characters and settings from the game and repurposing them for their production. Different maps are different sets that the creators can use. Because machinima is a way of filmmaking, it must use all the components that go along with it.
Let's move on to why Halo became one of the most popular machinima creation tools. John CJG explains it best.
I think that the Halo series inspired so many creators to work within its game engines, mainly because it was so easy to work with, had an inherent cinematic quality with regards to texture and frame rate, and the fact that its in-game avatars wore helmets, which allowed creators to avoid having to do lip syncing to voiceover. And Rooster Teeth made it look so easy to create compelling content with their series Red vs Blue.
It wasn't just about how these films were created, but about the stories. Why are we here? The first Red vs Blue episode is iconic in internet culture. Bungie's own Halo story acted like a springboard for other creators to work from.
The biggest challenge I faced in creating Halo Machinima is the writing. Everything is in the screenplays. The story, the characters, the ideas, the drama, the humor. The technical process of creating Halo Machinima isn't really that challenging if you understand the rules of filmmaking in general, regardless of whether it's machinima or live action production. Other than that, doing it right can take a lot of time and be incredibly tedious.
YouTube started as a service back in 2005, and as the platform for user-generated content, this was perfect for machinima growth. Before the YouTube era, people had to go onto websites to find this content, as it was spread by word of mouth. YouTube gave creators a hub for their content to be shared. Before this, content had to be downloaded because browser-based media players were rare. Matt Hullum, in the same interview, describes the early days of RVB.
It was before YouTube, it was before online video really existed, the early days. That was interesting stuff. We were even trying to explain to people how to download the videos so they could watch them. That was a complex thing. You couldn't watch a video in your browser like you do now. It didn't exist.
Before YouTube, it was difficult to centralize this type of content. The website Machinima, with a big M, now defunct, was one such website, where content such as Machinima, gameplay videos, and gaming news could be uploaded.
So what's the state of Halo Machinima today?
When starting this documentary, I was surprised with how many creators are still using the platform to tell their stories. Not only are people creating machinimas on the current game in the series Halo 5, but they are still using older games in the series such as Halo Reach, a game which is now 9 years old. When going onto YouTube and searching, you can find many short and long form films that people have created, many of which are high quality and tell interesting stories.
I'm honestly not certain if there's been a decline in Halo Machinima content because I've been out of touch with other Machinima creators, Red vs. Blue being the exception. I just focus on telling the stories that I want to tell. I continue to do it to this day because I've come to the conclusion that writing, story, characters, and visual storytelling are paramount, and the manifestation of those elements can be anything, whether it's machinima, live action, toys, puppets, animation, both 2 and 3-dimensional, stop motion, Lego, claymation, or whatever. I don't know what effect the YouTube algorithm has had on Halo Machinima, if any. I think if 343 Industries has played a role, it's been for the benefit of Machinima, not a decline. To my knowledge, in their games following the first Halo, both Bungie and 343 Industries have added features to assist that type of content creation. I highly recommend experimenting with Machinima to anybody who has any kind of filmmaking aspirations. Relative to a live-action production, it's incredibly easy, and there's a lot of filmmaking skills that you can develop in the creation of Machinima that you can then carry over to live action, because the same rules of visual storytelling apply.